we're yet to see what Team 9 has put up to the plate to fight against that. Once again, my name is Stretch, and joining me for this cast yet again is Huppilicious on that color casting. Huppilicious, how you feeling about this set so far?
I'll beat it out of you.
The set so far is definitely both teams feeling out the other team, and then one team realizing what they could do quicker than the other and just absolutely capitalizing on it. I'm excited to see how this second and hopefully not final round between these two solid teams.
Yeah, especially now that we've seen the analyst come in. Team 9 bringing in someone to help them out a little bit with their champion select and maybe get themselves set up with a little bit cleaner of a team comp. A lot of these same bands coming through as well that we saw last game. Draven, Vi, J4, Quinn, and Zach, all bands that were repeats. And Elise, the first one to come through in the set here. Or the first new one, sorry.
Well, last game we definitely saw just everything was a target ban. This person is good on this champion. We don't want them to have it. Yeah. But we do see a champion that people want.
Very true, and I like the pickup here because not only do they get themselves a good late game ADC, but Team 9 also takes away that Twitch from Gloryhound, who last game showed himself to be very aggressive with it, very forward positioning in team fights, and that's gonna really hurt the team comp of Guardian Angels because that was a lot of their damage.
Definitely agreed there. That was almost all their damage besides the Lux, who did, I believe it was 4,000 to 5,000 less damage than the Twitch that game.
Yep, very true. But once again, Guardian Angels like this very front-oriented team fight composition. They like champions that are able to be beefy and soak a lot of DPS from the enemy. And Gragas and Sejuani, two of the best champions to do just that. Gragas, very annoying to face up in the laning phase because of the amount of sustain that he has, and Sejuani is the perfect champion to combo with him and set up an explosive cask that isolates someone for some quick burst.
Definitely agreed there. We see the Kale hovered, probably get locked in. That is the placeholder champion, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. So we are likely to see another high-value champion in this matchup here. Not sure what that will be, but we are yet to see what they end up going with. So far, Twitch and Nunu here picked up for Team 9. Nunu, not something that you typically see, but he's a great champion for getting in the enemy jungle and disrupting their farming patterns and making sure that if their ganks are unsuccessful, they have nothing to come back to.
Definitely the counter jungle of all counter jungles is a Nunu. Just walks up into your jungle and eats it.
Very true, and not only that, but they just buffed the cost of Banami Cinder. The cost is now much lower than it used to be, so his farming speed should go up and allows him to get strong faster and get into the enemy jungle even more quickly thanks to the increased income from that speed farming. So Nunu, maybe a new contested pick here in the competitive play or an organized play, at least, because it just offers so much neutral buff control and, once again, jungle invade potential. Bottom lane, it looks like we might have a brand support, but it also could go mid. Guardian Angels picking up that brand. We'll see where that ends up landing.
I don't know. I think that's going to be a definite brand.
And it looks like we are thrown back to the team creation lobby. Not quite sure what happened here. Client bugged. Well, Angel of Ninja's client bugged, so we'll be back into the pick ban phase in just a moment here. That being said, interesting team comp shift now that these guys have switched sides. I think that Nunu is going to offer a lot of an interesting dynamic because it kind of creates this third win condition that Team 9 didn't necessarily have before. They were struggling with the neutral buff control. Nunu allows them to easily pick up early dragons and potentially barons as long as they can put themselves in a good position with vision. So getting themselves there can allow them to close out this game. As we saw last match, Guardian Angels did a fantastic job of making sure that they picked up the dragons, and it ends up closing the game for them. And I guess another Oh, no, they're changing orders, making sure that they get into LCS order. Much appreciated, guys. Thanks for that one. I thought someone bugged again, but they are just swapping around. I think Glory Hound jumped out too soon. Alright, this looks almost right. Now it looks right. I think they took the longest route to get there, but I think they got it.
Sorry.
Alright, so back into this one. Maybe in a second. I've pressed my R. I want to let these guys know that we're ready to roll. Let's do it. Alright.
Oh, and that Kale is a Karma pick.
Oh.
We saw in the chat there while we were waiting for Angel to reconnect to the client.
New client bug discovered. If you leave a match and your client bugs and you're in the spectator, apparently you have champion icons preloaded. I'll see how
That's what I'm seeing too.
Yeah, so we'll see how this ends up throwing off my entire plan of casting this match, and hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully they just get replaced.
Luckily, you're not seeing an entire team that's like that. Already pre-selected.
Oh, really? Even though they didn't get that far in the champ select?
Draven out.
No, actually I think it was last week Dragon League, it was the last person left to pick and their client had bugged out, and we came back to 9 players already selected their champions when we went back into the pick and ban phase.
Yeah, it would be a bit confusing. Alright. Being said, I have to imagine that these guys are going to go through their picks pretty much identical to what they had down before. Icebound Killer making a decision on what he wants to go with here. I have to imagine that it'll be the Gragas pickup yet again, but either way, these guys have some options on what they want to do. Actually, I think the rules dictate that you're supposed to pick exactly what you had before.
No, if you have locked in a champion, that is the one you're playing. Unless there's a certain circumstances, of course. But once you pick it, it's yours.
Yeah. Alright, so if Karma is the pickup there, that is two picks taken away from Guardian and Angels. I like this idea that Team 9 has of just stealing away the enemy champions and forcing them to do something else. Ban getting taken away. Angel of Night had a difficult time in the lane head-to-head against Rock and Roll Kids Echo, so they take that one off the board. Still a lot of AD carry focus as Karma is taken away as the 4th pickoff for Team 9. They want to make sure that this Twitch is in the lane and he's very solid and he doesn't have any trouble getting these last hits.
I'm wanting to see how Guardian Angel responds like in game to them taking away their the ADC and support that they had the last game.
Yeah, and that's especially in a league that is so oriented on proficiency with specific champions. Having someone taken away that you just played a last game might put you on a little bit of a lean, not necessarily a full tilt, but you might not be as prepared to play this champion that you end up playing due to the ban that goes through. So
You don't have the hunt.
being said, Lucian banned away too. So Team 9 taking away pretty much all of the top tier AD carry options in terms of both the picks and the bans. Now it looks like Glory Hound's going to be playing Sivir this game, still very team fight oriented there. And maybe they'll be able to walk away with some cool initiates with that movement speed. The Garen Hover from Spaciness yet again. Nautilus, I haven't seen this champion in a minute. And they lock it in.
That's probably going to be a Nautilus top with a Karma support. I see a good bit of Nautilus supports. I don't see him too much top, so we'll have to see how it goes.
Very, very true. And with Fiora not existing in this match, Nautilus is going to have a much better time than you would typically see up there. Fiora, once again, a champion that is just such a hard counter to that top lane tank playstyle that you pretty much have to ban it if you plan on playing anything that looks to gather any amount of health total. Otherwise, you end up getting absolutely obliterated. As we we step back into the matchup yet again, we'll be able to see the true nature of these teams. I believe the only placeholder, though, was the Kale representing a Karma pickup. So we actually have a decent amount of these teams already fulfilled. I believe that Team 9 was Nautilus, Nunu. Mid lane was Lissandra, bottom lane was Twitch and Karma. So a lot of mobility available to this Twitch thanks to the Blood Boil on Nunu and the Karma shielding coming through. So we'll see how they actually use that to protect the Twitch and keep him healthy in these team fights, but I don't know if they've got enough hard peel to really keep him alive. There's a decent chunk of damage available on the Guardian Angels, even though that their main priority was the Gragas and the Sejuani frontline. They still have a decent amount of gap closing with the Sivir ultimate on the hunt, able to get these guys in the team fights. So we'll see how these teams shake out and what they end up doing in the game here. But let's go ahead and analyze these lanes one by one, since they're going to be picked in that order. What do you think about this Gragas Nautilus matchup in the top lane?
I think it's gonna be a wet noodle fight. You're gonna want that Gragas, not necessarily be going full damage against, say, a full tank Nautilus. So it's gonna be a wet noodle fight top. I don't see any real split pushing coming from the top lane. I think it's just gonna be a tank fest. Like I said, it's gonna be a wet noodle fight up in top lane.
Yeah, and I think the key item of that matchup is going to be the Abyssal Mask. Now that it builds out of the Catalyst and still has that high magic resist total on it, it's going to allow this Gragas to sustain so well in the lane thanks to his low cooldown. So if he can pick that one up early, Brando Calrissian will end up in a position where he's going to continually get pushed out of this lane. So really, both these guys need to prioritize that magic resist and try to sustain the damage of their enemy. Going on to the jungle, we have So Vicious on Nunu against Angel of Ninja on Sejuani, who played that Amumu last game and really showed us that he's not afraid to go for those hard engages.
No problem.
Definitely not. And we do see that they banned Amumu. Huh.
I think
actually didn't realize that they...
I think that was just going through the second phase to speed through it. I don't think that was a priority ban last time.
Oh. But, yeah, well, with Sejuani, it's, she's got that engage. I think we're going to be seeing her gank a lot more than the Nunu, obviously. And Nunu's just going to have a great big old field day in her jungle.
Yeah, definitely difficult to protect yourself against a Nunu, especially someone like Sejuani who has some time to ramp up before that clear speed really becomes something noteworthy. So like you were saying, Nunu needs to be very forward with how he's positioning himself in the enemy jungle. Make sure that he also prioritizes deep vision here, because preventing Sejuani's ganks from being successful is all part of the Nunu strategy. So moving on to the mid lane, Rock and Roll Kid shifted off that Echo and instead is put onto the Lissandra thanks to some earlier bans that we saw in the previous champion select. Angel of Night, however, moving away from the Lux pick and onto a Brand. So a matchup of ice versus fire here.
The elemental war of the ages. I honestly don't know how that would turn out. I think it's gonna be, if Rock and Roll Kid can will definitely dodge the Sejuani engages. I think that's going to be the main problem for Rock and Roll Kid. There is going to be that Sedge in the jungle, because that Nunu is going to be in the jungle the majority of the time. I don't think we're going to be seeing a whole heck of a lot of him before mid-game. We might. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
As for the ADC's Twitch, I believe it's just overall stronger than Sivir. But I think Glory Hound is like, oh, well, he took my Twitch, so I'm going to play this and show him what's up. I think that's how that went down.
Very true. That could be the case. The other thing I'm noticing here is that Arrow Cross really needs to be careful on the positioning in that lane matchup. Level 1 can be a brutal experience for an Alistar if you end up going too aggressive and trying to get somewhere where you really shouldn't be. So if Alistar is able to position behind these minions a little bit better and make sure that he's using those Targon stacks properly, he should be okay and get to a good position where he can set up some fights for Sivir. But other than that, he's really just there to peel and make sure that she doesn't get dived on in the lane and in the later portions of the game here. But Going on into the last minute and 45 seconds, let's talk about these team comps overall. Over on the blue side, we've got Team 9 running Nautilus, Nunu, Lissandra, Twitch, Karma. What does that really tell to you or speak to you in terms of goals in the game? What are these guys looking to do with this set of champions?
It definitely looks like they're trying to do what Guardian Angels did last game, which was just peel for the Twitch, keep everybody off of the Twitch. You got the Karma shields, you got Lissandra's her snares, you got the Nunu slow, you got the Nautilus hook, slow, stun, and knockup. It's there's a lot of utility on the side of Team 9 right now. And as for GA, it looks like, you know, they got that strong, solid front line again with a Brand and a Sivir to just poke back. Both teams essentially doing the same strat, but it seems like a lot more focus is on the Twitch. Well, just like last game, focus on eyes on the Twitch was quite literally the name of the game, and I think we're gonna see that here again too.
Very, very true. That late game Twitch, a focal point for any team comp that it is inserted into. But moving back over to Guardian Angels, they're running Gragas, Sejuani, Brand, Sivir, and Alistar. It feels like, the tables have been turned here in terms of playstyles.
Definitely, and I mean, it's kind of understandable given that GA had a lot of their picks taken from them, especially with the lack of choices for ADCs, and Gloryhound having to pick something that he is comfortable with, but not necessarily an optimal pick. And I think that Team 9 just kind of took all that from them and said, okay, what are they going to do with this? What are they going to do with this? And I think GA is going to show them what they're going to do with this.
Yep, so with that being said, the tables have been turned, playstyles have been swapped, sides of the rift have been swapped, but the goal remains the same. We'll see whether these guys can explode the enemy nexus and walk away with a victory. Guardian Angels leading the series 1-0 over Team 9, and we're looking for the resurgence. We're looking for the comeback of the 9. As we'll get back onto the rift in a couple of minutes here and wait for these guys to load in. Go get yourself some snacks, use the restroom, do what you gotta do, and prepare for a fantastic game number 2. And with that short break, we are ready to roll on game number 2 of Ascension eSports Dragon League week number 3. The matchup once again is Team 9 on the blue side against Guardian Angels on the red. And once again, Guardian Angels showed us last game that they had some exquisite neutral buff control. Hopefully Team 9 looking to grab hold of that control with this new pickup and try to steal away some of these dragons from themselves. My name, once again, is Stretch, and joining me for the color casting is Huppilicious. Huppilicious, woo! How you feeling about this match, my man?
I'm actually feeling kind of hyped about it, honestly. We definitely see a turn of team strategies, and almost literally a virtual flip of team comps, so to speak.
Yep.
And I want to see if it'll benefit Team 9. I'm rooting for the underdogs right now. I want them to come back and take this to a third game.
Yeah, I have to agree here. Love to see these teams make their comeback, make the adjustments, and go through and come away with a potential victory. But we'll see what they end up doing here. Pings were going down from Team 9 onto the enemy red buff, as there might be a play to start blue buff and immediately invade on Angel of Ninja's red on the top side of the map. If there's a champion who's able to do that, it's either Ivern or Nunu, because they both have insanely quick single buff clears.
Definitely agree there. And but it's debatable. Is Nautilus's leash going to be fast enough to get Nunu out of there and over to that side?
We will definitely see here. Standard start for Angel of Ninja, picking up this blue buff first. A very strong leash coming out of Glory Hound and Arrow Cross as they step into that bottom lane. So Vicious still was working on the blue buff, and I think he might have planned to go for the red as the pings had been thrown down. Either that or it was a suggestion from the top lane, but he's still going to clear his jungle in a standard way, look towards the bottom side of the map. Actually, Sejuani is the person who's going for an invade here. Angel of Ninja stepping into the jungle of So Vicious to see if they're able to walk away with a buff steal. Nunu crossing over the river means that they might end up confronting each other here. A ward placement means that Angel of Ninja will see this Nunu coming in though. Ping going down, and that's a little bit unfortunate for Angel of Ninja because now not only does Nunu get a leashed buff here, it puts Sejuani super far behind in the jungle pathing, and that means that Nunu might even have a window to actually step into that topside jungle and look for the invade on this Sejuani.
Definitely time wasted there, especially with something that is not guaranteed. Unfortunately, did not pay out. Did not pay out for Angel of Ninja there. But now she's gonna have to play catch up as Nunu is just ripping through his jungle.
Definitely tearing it up, and he has to be feeling really good in this match. Having half of your red buff already finished for you and being a Nunu who can consume smite the rest of it pretty much for the kill means that he is staying extremely high health in this jungle. No problem clearing this out, and he may even find a window for himself to either invade or go for some cheeky ganks here as the lanes of Guardian Angel are quite pushed on these side lanes. I may be able to slip in for something cheeky.
And here at Ascension eSports, we love cheeky.
Exactly. You know what? The cheekier the better, as they say.
Did I say cheeky? I meant troll.
Top lane, Icebound Killer trying to get the trade down on Brando Calrissian, and Brando actually taking some significant minion damage in return there. I think that might have been the thing that allowed them to equalize that trade a little bit better. Decent amount of potions available on Brando, chunking down the likes of Icebound Killer. Bottom lane, stun juice stacking up there for Alistar. Ignite thrown down onto Raffle Knife, not able to find anything. The step back from Glory Hound means that Arrow Cross is likely to go down here. Nunu showing up, sped up by the Karma Shield. He's still not able to find the damage. Spacing its lanes a single auto attack, but the damage from the passive isn't going to be enough. In the brush, though, Angel of Ninja shows up yet again. This guy continually shows up in the right time for these counter ganks, and he ends up picking up first blood for his AD carry. No AoE available for Arrow Cross, who was not able to get in range of the Pulverize with the headbutt onto an actual minion there. So just a one kill pickup there for the Guardian and Angels.
Angel Ninja definitely knowing where to be, quite literally at all times. In both these games, it seems like always having that pressure, always there.
Yep, always in position. Now, a little bit of a risky dragon call here is that Infernal does chunk these guys down quite low. They're having their AD carry tank up a bit of the health on this Drake, but it looks like they should be able to pick this one up no problem whatsoever. Angel and Ninja stepping back in that one, getting a little bit low. They call their mid laner over as well, but I definitely like this super early dragon pickup, and the reason that is because if you leave this thing on the board, So Vicious is going to be more than willing to step up and take that thing solo with the Nunu.
Yes, and we saw the same thing in the last game where GA gets just as early as they can, as soon as they're available to get the dragon. We saw it, I believe it was almost right after first blood as well, last game.
Yep, getting that early dragon helped them snowball that game, and because it was 3 Infernals to start the match off, that helped them really utilize their damage purchases more fluently. Glory Hound picking up this BF sword is going to love the extra AD that he gets out of that Infernal Drake, and it's going to really help him not only control the minion wave, but overall just trade a lot better against Space and S and Raffle Knife.
Glory Hound coming back with BF Sword, and Space Needs coming back with a Call and Boots.
Yeah, really unfortunate purchase for Space Innis's Twitch, and he's got to be very careful because any engage from Aerocross here is going to be met with a lot of backup damage. I think that people underestimate the amount of damage that Sivir can do. The blade does not connect on that second pass, but a quick 2 auto attacks to follow up will be the quick kill on Glory Hound. Now 2-0 at the 7-minute mark. Mid lane stun does connect onto Rock and Roll Kid from Angel of Night. So this brand definitely looking to go aggressive early on against Lissandra. Both ultimates available, but the Catalyst, the Protector available on brand, I guess makes them think that they have the health pool to tank out that damage.
And we see here in the top lane, Gragas is starting to go with the double Dorans like we saw last game, whereas Nautilus getting the Spectre's Cal, surviving more of Icebound Killer's damage. How do you think, do you agree with their buys?
I think Double Doran's Ring is a little bit nerfed now for the top lane, and if you're in this matchup, you should really prioritize the Catalyst straight into the, I think, Adaptive Helm, the Abyssal Mask. Because the Catalyst is going to give you all the mana and health you could just dream of, thanks to the health and mana return on activated abilities, and it just increases the overall damage that your team's going to do at the later stages of the game. So I think that both of them are a little bit incorrect in their purchases, but it looks like Icebound Killer is going to end up going for that Abyssal Mask, picking up the Null Magic Mantle first, though. Mid lane poke, Pillar Flame making contact with the Lissandra in the mid lane. Aerocross making So Vicious hesitate in this bottom lane engage. Auto attacks going down. Good chunking coming out of Glory Hound, who has finally run out of mana, but still the BF Sword combined with that Infernal Drake just makes each one of these attacks hurt for so much. Roam from the mid lane down to bottom as well, as Angel of Night is looking for a potential kill underneath the towers. The ultimate from Brand is available and can do quite a bit of damage in this fight. Rock and Roll Kid off around the corner. They can't quite get these guys grouped up as one united front, and because of that, the entire play just dissipates. Bottom lane, looks like we've just got a little bit of wave clearing going on. Spacing is trying to maintain a bit of control over this lane, making sure they can get these last hits under the turret. Sivir does have the lead here in terms of gold, though. Look at the amount of damage she's able to throw back on the Boomerang blade, and the rest of the auto attacks flash forced in the mid lane from So Vicious as he came in from off screen quite quickly. A Nunu passive doing some work, allowing him to get that increased movement speed. Aerocross now to meet So Vicious in the river. Good knock-up into stun combination here. Ultimate from Brand gets thrown out, though, and it's going to be So Vicious who takes the brunt of that damage. Rock and Roll Kid having to step away there. Might have been able to actually save his friend a bit better if he just self-ulted himself and went untargetable so that the ultimate had nowhere to bounce to. But either way, the 3 bounces from that ulti combined with the rest of the damage just absolutely obliterates his health bar.
Yeah, very unfortunate for the So Vicious.
Yep. Top lane, Brando Calrissian and an Icebound Killer just trading back and forth a little bit. The wet noodle fight, as you so aptly said in Champion Select. Brando trading back as long as he's got the shield and then disengaging once that shield goes down. So definitely knows how to play the Nautilus quite well. Both these guys with magic resist makes it very difficult for these guys to deal the damage that they want to each other. The wave clear coming out here from Icebound Killer allows him to go a little bit more aggressive in the lane, though, as he'll have the aid of the minions in any of the trades that he ends up going for. Aerocross looking for the knockback, only gets the karma against the wall here, though. Does flash away from that empowered auto attack. Mid lane, Rock and Roll Kid stunned up by the likes of Angel of Ninja, who once again is in a fantastic position to get a gank off, even though the mid lane was not ready to react to that one, still forcing the Summoner Spell Flash out of Rock and Roll Kid in the mid lane.
definitely been seeing a lot of strong plays coming out from Angel, whether they get followed up or not. He definitely seems to always get something from it.
Definitely true. Top lane, though, it looks like while no one was looking, So Vicious is able to walk away with a Rift Herald take. Underneath the turret, looks like they're trying to go for a dive here. It's very disjointed, though, and because of that, they take so much damage on the back end. Spacing is stepping forward underneath the turret. He's able to flash back under it. Arrow cross did not drop aggro. Will not go down to that last turret shot, though. The flash out of the last turret range, but it's just a field day for this Nautilus now. No real threats. He flashes in once again, looking for Glory Bound. Can't quite find it. AoE damage from Brand is ripping through the health bars of Team 9, but it's not going to be nearly enough. So many flashes burnt in this engage, and the rest of the Guardian Angels able to disengage from Team 9 here, but it leaves a window open for where these guys can go for a Dragon take.
And that's going to be a Mountain Dragon. Something that Team 9 is definitely going to need to push these objectives. Very good team fight. Very solid, strong team fight. A lot of teleports, a lot of utility uses there. Everybody in Shatters torn up, ripped apart by that fight.
Engage here onto So Vicious. Stun auto attack does connect here. Gives a window for Angel of Night to maybe come in, but does not connect with the slow. Probably needed to dash before actually swinging that W in order to actually get the back end slow off the second swing. Actually allows So Vicious to step out of that one, get back into his own jungle, and look to get some farm. Stun in the mid lane. Angel of Night making contact with Rock and Roll Kid. It's a advantageous trade for them. And the Rod of Ages finished up on Brand by the 12 to 13 minute mark, is in a decent position to scale into the late game. Alright, bottom lane turret now down at about a quarter life. Auto tech's getting thrown down by Arrow Cross just to make sure that it does go down. And look at how Glory Hound is really hesitating on it, though. Definitely could have committed to that a lot earlier and saved some health bar on Arrow Cross. Roam coming down from both Nunu and Rock and Roll Kid, so these guys are forced to engage. But the control ward on the back of the pit actually protects them and notifies them that that play is going on. So Vicious now in his own jungle is going to get walked on by Arrow Cross, and Glory Hound knocked up immediately as the ultimate gets thrown down in the middle of everybody. Arrow Cross still continuing on into the rest of the fight as the self-ultimate from Rock and Roll Kid tries to put himself in a position to stay alive, but the health return there is just not nearly enough.
And that's going to be a red buff going to Glory Hound, who, might add, was a little hesitant there, but he's still playing like he was playing on the Twitch last game. He's playing with confidence, and when he sees that opportunity, he goes for it. Once it's there, and it's for sure, he definitely commits to it.
Definitely true. Early game Essence Reaver picked up by this Sivir means that Glory Hound is going to be sitting on high mana for a good portion of the game, and the lower cooldown reduction means that they can get a lot more engages off with the on the hunt ultimate. Not only that, but the AoE crits coming out should do very well for the team fights later on. So Glory Hound in a fantastic position to perform well in this game. Angel of Ninja showing up to the top lane once again, needs to get the stun down, does find it, and the percent health damage actually doesn't do that much thanks to the magic resist purchase by Brando Calrissian. Hook connects against the turret. He's able to step back, proc his Courage of the Colossus on the root on his passive. He's waiting for his mana to tick up for another shield, but it doesn't quite get there. He's just dashed on by Icebound Killer, finishing off that kill underneath the turret. Mid lane now, it looks like they've got the Rift Herald moving in to try to get some damage down on the turret. Icebound Killer able to actually navigate the damage from Rock and Roll Kid and get the execute, not granting any gold to the enemy team.
Very intelligently done by Icebound there, getting the kill on the Nautilus and then surviving Rock and Roll Kid, just trying to get some damage on him while he was under the tower. but able to pull it off and not give Team 9 anything there.
Bottom lane, Nunu now returning to see if he couldn't get a gank off, but easy spell shield for Glory Hound to negate that. And even though at full mana, just keep his mana high. No cost for him to negate that damage in CC from the Nunu, and forces Nunu to just go back to the jungle and look for a little bit more farm. Going into the 17-minute mark here, looks like Team 9 is still sitting down roughly 3k gold, so still not in a good position to walk away with a victory. These guys have to find their window back into the match. Mid lane, good damage onto this Brand. Ultimate thrown down by Lissandra, willing to just tank up all of that damage from the Brand to make sure that the CC on Angel of Night was there to set up the Nunu follow-up. So finally they get the kill there on the Brand in the mid lane. Bottom lane, a little bit of pressure was being thrown down by Glory Hound and Arrow Cross, but without the vision and without their mid laner alive, they're forced to step back to their own base. Once again, we see Glory Hound really preferring this Merc Treads purchase to try to keep himself un-CC'd and auto-attacking in these fights as much as possible. Not only that, but there's a lot of AoE magic resist getting thrown around between Nautilus, Nunu, and Karma on the enemy team, as well as the Lissandra, who likely won't be making their way into the back line, but will still have damage that comes through regardless.
And we do see Nautilus favoring a Spirit Visage over the Abyssal Mask. With kind of questionable, given that being the engage tank, so to speak, and having a Lissandra and a Karma and a Nunu who do ability power damage, you think the Adaptive Helm would have been a wiser choice, considering the enemies around you would take 10% more magic damage.
Yeah, the Abyssal Mask allows these guys, once again, to just enhance the abilities of their own teammates. And it's interesting, like you were saying, that he goes for that, because not only do you still get cooldown reduction and health out of the Abyssal Mask, but he doesn't have any self-healing effects that he can really use to take advantage of that last stat. So a lot of questionable choices here from Brando Calrissian, but I'm going to trust that he knows what he's doing and just assume that he's going to perform well regardless. All right, Dragon now under pressure here as the wards go over the wall for the Team 9, trying to make sure that they threaten these guys off of this neutral buff, but without the rest of the team gathered up and ready to roll, there's no way that these guys can step up to contest. Nunu trying to step forward, driven back or forced to backstep by Glory Hound, claw over the wall. Looks like Rock and Roll Kid's able to get into the mix, and blue team does walk away with the Dragon thanks to Smite Vicious there. And pulled in is the likes of this Alistar. Ultimate rolling, though, means that he takes very low damage, but no one is on this Twitch, who is shredding through the health bars of Guardian Angel. And once again, we see Team 9 knows how to team fight. They know how to perform when they're in a 5-man scenario. They just need to continue to replicate this over the course of the match if they want to walk away with a victory.
Very good steal there by So Vicious.
Yep, So Vicious getting in there, getting that steal, getting that consume, getting that smite, doing what he needs to do to walk away with that Dragon. And 2 mountains is fantastic for this Nunu because it's going to enhance his damage for him on these Baron buffs. The one huge threat that these guys have over the team Guardian Angel is that they're able to take away these Dragons and Barons so simply with this Nunu. So having him have 2 Mountain Drakes under his belt is actually really scary if you're on the team Guardian Angels, because he's just able to sneak that one away a lot of times without any help whatsoever. Top lane engage, though, onto Brando Calrissian. Once again, that stun auto attack on Alistar, just allowing him to hold up Brando Calrissian a little bit longer. The amount of armor that's available on Brando, though, just keeps him so safe against Sivir, who's sitting on 1.5 items, so it's a little bit sad if you're an AD carry player. You're just like, well, Chain Vest negates the entirety of all that damage. It didn't really matter at all, but either way, he's very well prepared. Top lane, another engage here as Angel of Ninja finds the likes of Rock and Roll Kid. Rock and Roll Kid, gotta be careful here. No ulti thrown there by Angel of Ninja to prevent that claw over the wall. Might have been able to allow the team to come in and add some additional CC there. Alistar had the flash available, had all of the abilities ready to roll. And now they're in a little bit of an awkward position, split off from the rest of their team as they're looking to try to pressure down this top lane outer turret.
Speaking of pressure, you got the Gragas and Karma dancing with each other down there in the bot lane, while once again, like Guardian Angel just distracting Team 9 for what they're really trying to go for, and this Gragas split pushing.
Yeah, and the amount of sustain that he's got against the Nautilus here might be a little bit frustrating for the Nautilus, but finishing off that Sunfire kit means that he's going to have a little bit of help in terms of his minion wave control, and that might be what he needs to stay in this matchup in the head-to-head, because Icebound Killer with that Abyssal Mask definitely does have a little bit of or actually a lot of a sustain advantage in the 1v1. Brando Calrissian stepping up to get the staggering blow there to just interrupt that recall, making Icebound Killer a little bit upset on that one, delaying that back. Either way, both these guys going to stay out to clear at least one more wave as the rest of the map prepares to potentially play around this Baron buff. Vision definitely needed from the side of Team 9. Look at how dark Guardian Angel's jungle is. They have no clue where the Sejuani might come out.
Now, definitely the ward game very much in favor of Guardian Angel. Just like we saw in last game, they always had those wards where they needed to be at all times. And they were always able to tell where the enemies were at. And that was very helpful, especially last game with Angel of Ninja and her ganks.
Yep. Lot of aggression there shown by Arrow Cross, jumping over the wall to defend that pink ward. And yet again, look at this man just stepping towards the enemy team, says, I dare you to take this control ward. There's no way you're going to be able to battle me, even though I'm posturing like I've got team with me. It's actually just me, a lone Alistar, who's willing to contest these. And now some fantastic positioning by the front line actually nets this top lane turret for the likes of Guardian Angel, and they're going to continue this pressure onto the mid lane inner turret. Twitch actually caught up a little bit there by the Sejuani, but able to just step up away from that fight, no problem whatsoever. Did not get ulted. Bottom lane.
Wet noodle fight.
Yeah, wet noodle fight, but that being said, the amount of damage that Nautilus is able to throw down against Icebound Killer is actually immense here. And I think that's due to the fact that the shield is just being played around so well. Top lane, the ultimate from Brand just absolutely shreds through the health bars of Team 9. But once again, no one is on Spaciness. He's able to throw down quite a bit of auto attacks. Ultimate thrown down by Sejuani means that Spaciness is now a little bit more vulnerable. They flash in to finish him off. So Vicious actually has the passive resetting on him from Sejuani, so they're looking for that % health damage and stun capability. He's able to bebop his way out of that one back towards the inhibitor turret into the loving embrace of Raffle Knife. Bottom lane hook lands onto Icebound Killer, doing a bit of damage yet again. Feels like he just does not have enough magic resist to sustain the initial front end damage that's coming out of this Nautilus. Now the rest of the team on Team Angels, or Guardian Angels, is just forcing in this lane here. Oh my goodness, so much pressure getting thrown down onto these turrets.
Guardian Angel definitely committing to it and knowing what they can do, have definitely shown the type of pressure that they could throw out. We did see some pings for the Baron after the second tower went down, but instead they decided to open up that inhib rather than going for that Baron.
Yeah, and that pressure is actually a window that can start playing around continually. A lot of the reasons that people even go for Baron in the first place is try to get one of these turrets down on the inhibitor and get that inhibitor taken out for the enemy team. Having them just be able to take out the turret is huge for them because it means they can actually go for a direct team fight or look for a split push play. Looks like we've got Spaciness in trouble, though. Once again, Arrow Cross playing that very aggressive Alistar actually helps the enemy get towards an escape as the ultimate from Nuno gets thrown down. Absolute Zero doing Absolute Zero as it gets knocked out by Glory Hound's damage. The crit's coming through very strong here. Now it looks like the next target is Brando Calrissian. Both of these guys going down very quickly. Third target's going to be Rock and Roll Kid, who steps too close to the fire, ends up getting turned into a funeral pyre, and now Glory Hound walks away with a triple kill on the back end of the fight.
And that's going to be a second Infernal for Guardian Angel. Very unfortunate for Team 9 there. Saw a lot of people coming in to fight the bulk of GA one at a time, and each one that went in one at a time ended up dying for it, not getting a gain whatsoever for their team.
Yep. Once again, looks like Guardian Angel is going to throw down this pressure on these turrets. Last game they showed, hey, we've got neutral objective control. In this game they're saying, we're not just all about neutral objectives. If you're going to take Nunu and really focus on these dragons, we're just going to throw down a bunch of lane pressure because it's these scenarios where Nunu really struggles to do anything. He can't engage on the team very well. He's got only a little bit of utility to offer the rest of his team comp. Claw goes in on Lissandra for the self-ultimate. The healing goes down as well. Once again, it looks like Spaciness is able to get some clean shots off the rest of the team. He gets 2 kills for himself quite quickly in this brawl. Angel of Ninja left in the team fight as the rest of the team was forced to disengage away from Brando Calrissian, who was able to slip into that backline and get some work done. So once again, it looks like Team 9 showing that team fight prowess.
We saw this last time too. Unfortunately, with the Gragas there pushing that top lane by himself. Sorry, I actually totally lost my train of thought there. Completely derailed. Anyways, we saw this last game too, where Team 9 had a big play, and they definitely kicked up the game, but then just seemed to fall apart.
Definitely true. Top lane, a little bit of a brawl between So Vicious, Icebound Killer, and Rock and Roll Kid. But right now, Icebound Killer's got the Iceborne Gauntlet, so it's allowing him to do a little bit of additional damage on each one of these engages with his Drunken Rage, and it's really chunking down the health bars of Team 9. So these guys have to be careful when they're interacting with this Gragas because he does a surprising amount of damage for how tanky he is. Uh-oh, Steel trying to come through here. Nunu going to just consume that one pretty much for free and walk back into his jungle, not really wanting to follow into that blind area. So Vicious actually probably thinking, I could steal away that Scuttle Crab, but isn't going to walk out into the river, into that storm of CC. Instead, just going to step back into his jungle yet again, play it a little bit safe, and make sure that his team is in a position where they can react to this potential Baron buff take. Because if they end up giving this thing away, they've already been shown that Guardian Angel is very willing to put pressure on these turrets and just look to close it out this game in the next couple of minutes. These guys trying to control over the jungle as best they can. Vision Denial going down for Guardian Angel, just trying to make sure that they do not give any visibility on this Baron buff, because once you deny that vision, it becomes very difficult for Team 9 to get around the corner and try to inspect if they're just sneaking away the Baron. So having that Vision Denial opens up a window where you can say, okay, we can attempt the Baron here and use someone for just the peel, or the second they turn this corner, we can go for a heavy engage and go for a team fight.
The Guardian Angel definitely trying to hold on to as much vision as they can. Denying GA any leeway past their own jungle. If you look, you got Guardian Angel's vision all over. Yeah, they got a control ward in the bot side jungle that just disappeared, and they're really just playing the vision game, keeping them blind to the objectives, just like they were last game. And that was one of the huge advantages that I saw from GA last game, and they're utilizing it here as well. Just They are playing the vision control game so much better.
That being said, pause comes out as it looks like someone might be having a little bit of a technical issue yet again. Lag coming out for, I guess, Rock and Roll Kid, who was having a little bit of a connection problem last match on the Echo. This time, though, he needs to make sure he's got that solid connection because he only has a split second to get that Lissandra ultimate down before he gets bursted or he loses the window with which he can actually ultimate because of the amount of peel that's available on the rest of the comp of Guardian Angel. So these guys definitely looking to protect their team members, and it's a high-pressure game for Team 9. These guys need to find a window back into the match because they're really struggling.
With a 7.6 gold, 7.5K gold difference, we'd all be struggling.
Yep, definitely true. Once again, turret pressure being thrown down by the likes of Guardian Angel. These guys just sitting in front of this enemy team turret, just daring Team 9, tempting Team 9 to step forward at all. They know that they've got so much CC available to them that there's nothing to really be worried about. But here comes the front line. Brando Calrissian steps forward. He says, I'm sick and tired of it. I'm tired of watching you guys take my stressors away. I'm taking this game into my own hands. In the back line, it's Rock and Roll Kid trying to get the damage down on a Glory Hound and Angel of Night, but he's not able to do nearly enough damage. Absolute Zero in the middle of the fight actually gets interrupted by a flash body slam by Icebound Killer, but still, they're not able to throw down nearly enough damage. Spacing is forced to dump all of his damage here into Angel of Ninja, who's able to get himself back out of the fight. Once again, Spaciness actually picks up a kill on Grags and Sejuani. Quadra kill for the for Glory Hound, though. Double kill here for the Twitch. These guys, fantastic job. Backline was able to handle the backline dive from Lissandra, and from then on, it was just a race of catching target after target to try to close out this game. And I completely forgot, because of that pause, Jesus Christ, we're going back in time. I will not deny my viewers the team fight.
No, that was the team fight that decided it.
I apologize, guys. I will make it right by going back. So here we go.
We have
right here. I feel so dumb now. All right, so
Hey,
Nunu
man,
stepping
happens.
forward very aggressively here. Brando Calrissian stepping forward says, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of watching my structures getting taken away. I'm going to go and take this game into my own hands. In the back line, we've got Rock and Roll Kid just diving in, trying to get the damage down to the Glory Hound and Angel of the Night, but they're not able to finish him off. And now, flashing out is Alistar, just making sure that he can keep himself alive, but the interrupt there on the explosive cast knocks Twitch out of the range. That might have been what actually ended up winning the team fight for them. Twitch was actually out of the range of the auto attacks. Once again, the belly slam comes in, and they ended up picking up 2 kills, quadra kill for Glory Hound and double kill for Spaciness in the team fight in the mid lane. It's definitely the deciding game for this matchup. I apologize once again. Dude, I feel so dumb.
another team fight breaking out at Baron.
Oh, we're in live now. Wait, they didn't close the game off that push? Ah!
Just so much happened there. It was another. Oh my
Okay.
okay. So,
I'm catching up. Don't worry, I'm at 34 minutes. The team fight's about to pop off now. I had to go back in time. We're time travelers now, boys. Knockup goes down on the Glory Hound, but he's still not deterred, throwing down a lot of auto attacks into Brandon Calrissian, who just aren't doing that much, but the ricochets are actually shredding through the team fight here. Icebound Killer is forced to flash out. Good flash from Rock and Roll Kid. Actually gets some damage down, but it won't finish off the kill there. Ultimate finally gets thrown down, and it's just an absolute murder fest here for the Guardian Angels. They are able to adequately soak damage on Icebound Killer, get him out of the team fight, and then the rest of the team comp can walk in so easily and clean up the rest of that.
and that is the win off of that ace.
Yep. All right.
Very spicy team fights, ladies and gentlemen. We are your time travel technicians.
Exactly. Welcome to Time Travel Cast. My name is Stretch. He is Huppilicious, and today we're going to be going back to the 1930s.
Dum da dum dum da dum dum da dum dum dum. But anyways, definitely well played. But Guardian Angels 2-0ing Team 9 in Week 3 of Dragon League.
Yep, fantastic play. And I think the thing that really did it for them was the amount of map control that these guys exhibit. You saw for a couple minutes there, all that was going down was just the vision denial on Baron, trying to bait these guys into a face check around the corner. And even though Team 9 didn't go for it in the end, they were still able to find that team fight in the mid lane, shifting their focus once again to that turret pressure.
But even there at the end, Team 9, desperate, ran in there, blind checked it, got aced.
Yep.
Unfortunately. I was really looking forward to going to a Game 3. I haven't been to a Game 3.
At all?
But, no.
Not this season? Wow.
No, yes, there was one the very first week.
Oh, okay.
There was one the very first week. It was, Team 9 and Fifth Harmony, I believe.
Gotcha.
But we'll get here into the damage shots real quick. We see Sivir, 40,000 damage, doubling literally everybody on the side of Team 9. Twitch only sitting at 20,620. That's a huge difference, and that doesn't show exactly how good the ADC is. That shows how good the tanks are at stopping everybody else from doing damage and getting to that ADC. Very well played by GA for just allowing Sivir to just sit there and just do whatever she wanted, literally whatever she wanted.
Yeah, and the funny thing is the brunt of the damage taken actually went to Nunu, soaking up 42,000 damage for his team. The issue with that is that he wasn't self-mitigating that damage well enough because he didn't have the resistances that you'd really like to see. A Gargoyle Stone Plate and a Spirit Visage with some Merc Treads is not going to keep you alive long enough against the Sivir, so she was able to eventually just rip him down and continue on into the rest of the team fight here. So I'm a little bit upset. Actually, I was looking for the damage mitigated to self stat, and it's not available in custom games. Rito, what are you doing? I'm trying to see. Right. I'm trying to see how much was tanked. But either way, guys, that's going to be our matchup for tonight. Once again, the teams were the Guardian Angels versus Team 9, and Guardian Angels walking away with a very clean, very decisive 2-0 victory over Team 9. My name, once again, is Stretch, and our color caster this week, or this matchup, was Huppilicious. Huppilicious, any closing thoughts for our viewers here?
Come back next week for Week 4 of Ascension eSports Dragon League. Follow us on our subreddit. You can feel free to sign up and join us for these. We always have need of people for subs, for, sometimes real life stuff happens. Some of the players can't make it. There's normally one person every week. We can get you in here, get you signed up, find your preferred role. Just let somebody know.
Yep, and if you want information on where to get that done, there is links below, I think. Before I go ahead and say that, there are links below the stream, right?
There should be, yes. There better be.
I'm on the dashboard, so I can't look. But I'm going to assume that there are links below the stream that you can click on and interact with the community stuff. There is. Good. Awesome. I'm on the... So, that being said, guys, that's going to be it for us. Once again, thank you for joining us for another fantastic set of League of Legends matches. We are Ascension eSports, and we're out for now, but we'll be back tomorrow at the same time, same place for some more leagues. I think we got Elder League popping off tomorrow, so I'll be casting that yet again. You can come see me and the Save One do some casting there, but either way, check out the subreddit, check out the Discord, check out the TeamSpeak. We'll see you guys later.
Good night!